Good morning. Good morning. I want to talk today about triggers. What's triggering you? I've been on my own soul journey, and I've been on my soul journey for years. And this is something that's been coming up as of late. What has been triggering you? As I continue to do my research and continue to grow in my spiritual journey, I start to realize more and more that you may be triggered by the smallest of things and not really understand what the core of that issue is. I many times say, especially when I'm doing my readings, when I do personal readings, that I'm getting down to the core of the issue. It's not, you may ask one question like, what's up? Why your man did this? Or you may wonder why you're still having issues with your mother or things of that nature. And a lot of times it's something that is a center, a core of that situation. And so when I do my readings, this is what I do. And so it's necessary to be able to identify the core. So I wanted to just come here real quick, as I say quickly, as I really wanted to do a 1 minute, but I just want to talk about the core, what your triggers are, how you can identify what the core of your issues are from your triggers. What is triggering you? What's making you upset? What pisses you off? Why is somebody cutting you off on, the road, pissing you off? Why is it that you're cursing somebody out because they did ... So this is going back really to you having control over your emotions, over your situations, over you, and not allowing other people to have control over you. This obviously is very beneficial when you're in relationships and partnerships and love relationships, family relationships, things of that nature. And so if you can identify what's really triggering you, then you can really see or stop others, or not stop others, because that's also a coping mechanism, but rather stop yourself from experiencing certain levels of depression, certain levels of confusion as to why someone else doing something to you is hurting you so bad, right? And so all of that to say, identifying your triggers. Let's start there. Identifying triggers. What are triggers? What are things? Let's just talk about that really quick. What is a trigger for you? A trigger for you may be slightly different from a trigger for me. A trigger from your friend may be a different trigger than you. So again, what is it that you go off? What makes you go off, right? What makes you go just kirk bonkers, all because you something happened to you. So when you can first identify that trigger, what is going off, then the second step is, what is making you go off? What is really literally making you upset about that trigger? So for instance, let's use an example. Someone hasn't called you back. A partnership, family, friend, loved one, they haven't called you back. For some reason, it may be different when it comes to your friends than a lover's. It may be different when it comes to your mother than a sister. What is the reason why you're really going off? Identify that. And then ask the question to yourself, to your inner child, to your being. What's making me go off right now? I always talk about the divine feminine. Speak to your womb. What is making your womb so nervous that's making you go off right now? Second step. Now we want to identify, okay, what is making, because many times a trigger is triggering you because for some reason you feel unsafe. For some reason you're going off. Like I remember, for example, my mother going off again because of somebody cutting her off and she almost hit them. So she will go off because she's like, they stopped, they did this, they did that. But really, and it's because of her safety and because of the safety of her children. So she's really pissed because she's really thinking forward. She's really thinking, oh my God, this could have gone so wrong. And this accident could have potentially been fatal. This accident could have potentially been, life-altering, life-changing. And really that was the fear. And that was really the crux of her trigger. Potentially losing her family, potentially losing her life and not being able to take care of her family. It was not necessarily the person who slammed on their brakes or bumped into the back of them or sideswiped her. It wasn't that. It was really the fact that what could have happened as a result of what just occurred. Now somebody else's action has now triggered that. So now what I want you to think about when I say this, because this is getting longer than I expected, what I want you to think about when I say this is, for instance, why is that a major trigger for you? What has happened in your lifetime? What's happened in your childhood? And again, I want you to think to even relationships. What is it that you're coveting? What is it that you're afraid of? What is it that you are ... And if you are working so hard to stop something from happening, or so upset because something's about to happen, identifying this trigger can help you work with it. Allow it to come up, to allow you to heal it. A lot of times in therapy, we talk about coping mechanisms, or we're coping with something that we could have healed a long time ago because we don't know how to get rid of this trauma. And this trauma, I want to make clear to you, is in your body, in your being, is in your senses. You know, you can have PTSD, post-traumatic PTSD, post-traumatic stress syndrome, from a trauma that happened to you as a child. Now, mind you, your body, your mind, all of these things are connected. Your mind, body, and spirit, right? So you have three parts of you that's all connected to this trauma. Now, so if you're thinking from a mental standpoint or a psychological therapeutic, from a therapy standpoint, and they're only dealing with the mental, what about your body? What about your spirit? What about you in you is still harboring this hurt? I just heard harboring this guilt, harboring this ... So I just want you to be aware that these triggers are identifying something in you that needs to be healed. And many times we're going through our life not knowing that we need healing, not knowing that we need to be healed. So I just want to help you identify this. I just wanted to bring it to your forefront. Just let you know that these are some things that you may want to start working on. These are the times where you can start working on childhood trauma, start working with your inner child. What is it in you that's stopping you from really doing ... What is in you that's really stopping you from moving forward in a way that's positive, less triggered, less emotional, less bound to a core hurt that you have not healed or even identified. I just wanted to come here and just enlighten you guys a bit this morning. So I hope this helps you. Next steps, you know, some of you may be thinking, so what do I do next? One, figure out what's triggering you. Identify those moments when you're triggered. So when you go slam off, think about it. What is really making me go slam off? First thing, am I going to slam off? Step number 2, why am I going to slam off in this moment right now, in this particular moment in time? Talk to yourself. Why am I going off right now in this moment in time? Like literally talk to yourself and listen. Listen to your heart, what's coming up. Spirit wants to talk to you. Your womb wants to talk to you. Your being wants to speak to you. The ethers want to speak to you, help you heal. Like we're all here for a reason. We're all here for a purpose. We're all here to go through an experience. And we're all here to heal. Go through something, come on the other side, heal. So all of that to say, think about that. Then once you identify that, say, where does this stem from? I.e., where does this hurt stem from? I.e., where does this uncomfortability, this consciousness, this lack of consciousness, where does this stem from? Where does this fear stem from? I need you to stay in your lane, okay? All right. So what does this fear stem from, right? And then go back even further. Well, what happened to make me fearful of this? You know, I have a friend of mine, and I'm going to just give you the example of this all the way back. You know, a friend of mine that got upset at a restaurant because someone's, you know, credit card did not go through properly, and it's because something was wrong with the chip, right? So, you know, but the person is getting extremely upset, hyper upset. It's her birthday. She's getting hyper upset, like literally about to burst a vein. So upset she is over the fact that this credit card is not going through. ultimately she makes it clear, like, oh my God, this is so embarrassing. This is so embarrassing. So now so that's step number 2. Okay, so she's upset. This is a trigger. Why is she upset? Because she's embarrassed. And then why is she so embarrassed? Oh, maybe because she's embarrassed because of something internal to her. Again, this is the question that you have to ask yourself. Why are you so embarrassed? Why are you so uncomfortable? Why are you so upset? Why? And once you keep going down this hole of whys, you get down to the core issue. It's like peeling off an onion one at a time. You get down to the core issue, and that core issue is Dot. Now, what I want you to do as you allowing this core issue to come up, because this core issue is at the core, and now you want it to excavate. You want to bring it up. You want to bring it to the light. You want to heal this. It's going to come up, and it may bring tears. It may bring heartache. It may bring fears, but allow it to come up, because what needs to happen in this moment is it needs to be acknowledged. It needs to be felt. It needs to be understood. It needs to be loved. It needs to be loved. This is what I want to make clear. It needs to be loved. Allow it to come up. Allow yourself to heal, and watch your coping mechanisms, watch your triggers disappear. Love you guys. Talk to you later. Bye.